Where were you, Kosi? Oh, I was mentioning on the West Kosi. You know, our boy did it. I told you, Ballon d'Or potential. Oh, Kosi, we are waiting.
Okay, we'll talk about Estevão.
I can't wait to get started.
Yeah, we'll talk about Estevão later as we do go along. But Eddie Kemis here is wearing a vintage Arsenal jersey, JVC. Charlie. Right now, Arsenal good. Is there an Arsenal good at the top of the table?
Yeah, we're forgetting the league right now.
Is it over?
It's over. It's way over. Hello, good evening to all our listeners.
No, it's just a question that will continue. Yes, no.
Our listeners keep us going.
Yes, no.
What is over?
The title is?
Yeah, it's over. It's over. I beg you.
You're on top of the table now. It's just team that you need. You need consistency. You need to keep it going.
Do you see us holding a trophy?
You don't see Arsenal winning the league.
Do you see Arsenal holding a trophy? Did you after the West Ham game? Did you see any Arsenal player holding a trophy? I'm just saying that. Listen. Did you see any Arsenal player holding a Premier League trophy?
Kim, listen to me. You are where you want to be. Okay. Do you see this as that spark towards Arsenal finally walking away with the English Premier League trophy? Somebody says just 7 or 8 games into the season.
Just 7 or 8 games into the season. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
But then again, you need a starting point. Arsenal don't like to be chasing. They like to be at the top.
It's a good place to be. I'd rather be there than anywhere else. But it's just 7 games into the season.
So you're being very measured in your expectations.
Not measured. I mean, it's just 7 games into the season. We are taking a game by game. We are taking a game by game. That's all. I don't say anything beating Arsenal, but it's the EPL. So
well, you never know.
Yeah, in December.
You never know. Let's see. But Charlie, the King of Joe, your team Chelsea bounced back over the weekend. I'm sure Chelsea fans will want us to start with them today.
Should we? Or we should go to Spain first? I don't know, but yeah, we can start anywhere.
Okay, you don't worry. The Chelsea fans, there are a one or two things in there that we want to,
highlight and talk about.
Yeah, speak about.
I have a lot to say though.
Yeah,
all our listeners.
Yeah, I've just seen the Black Stars working out as well.
They should go and win. That's all.
Yeah, they should go and win. Their players are on form, big form.
They're all on form.
But before we go into Chelsea, just a quick mention. You've seen Antoine Semenyo this season in the Premier League.
Yeah.
What have you thought of him?
Impressive.
6 goals, 3 assists. I
see him joining Liverpool next season. I think I've said it here before that I see him joining Liverpool next season, and for him to stay whilst Zabani, whilst Dean Huijsen were making big moves, for him to say I'll stay and play for Bournemouth again and increase my price tag, that's a big call. A big ups to his team for doing that. Now he's playing so well. The numbers are crazy. Off the ball, Semenyo is there. On the ball, Semenyo is there. And I feel like he will leave this season. He will leave after the end of the season. But let's big up his coach. I mean, for the plan. Now the team is around Semenyo. Everything they do moves through Semenyo, and it's working for him. The only problem is that when he comes to our Black Stars, he misses sitters that we don't understand why. So if it's a coaching problem, if it's a Semenyo problem, he has to find a way to solve that. But for Bournemouth, he's playing so well, and big ups to his team for making sure he can stay, because it's tricky. Imagine he stayed and this season is not going well for him. It will drop the price tag and nobody will come for you. But with the teams in England, I still feel like he's the perfect replacement for Mohamed Salah. Easy.
Awesome. Okay, so we'll go back to this later on. I just wanted to have your thoughts on it. We'll go back to this and Kudus, etc. Sergio will be excited because Kudus is cooking for Tottenham Hotspur. But we'll go back to that later. But let's start off with that Chelsea game. First of all, what was your outlook on that game?
Crazy. I watched it here with Eustace, and it was interesting. When I saw the lineup, I was like, wow, we are going to play with this defense against Liverpool. We all know Isak is not on good form, but at least again, we wanted to see what Chelsea will do. And for me, a champion on the day was awesome.
It was very, very
was
good.
Awesome. Bajashile and the champion, they both has balance. I saw a balanced defense because we've been playing with right-footed players most of the time. But Bajashile on the left, his pass brought the Caicedo goal, and it was very impressive. One thing I saw also in the game is that when Lavia came on, when Estevao came on, they were charging the Stamford Bridge crowd. It's something that we lack. They go to the stadium and they are always often quiet, very, very quiet. And I don't like that about Chelsea at all. When they said, okay, we can go into this game and win the game, they started going in hard. And I was so happy with the defense. At a point in the game, we saw Reece James as the CCB. We had 3 right backs playing defense. And I'll explain this into details. One thing I saw was that luckily for me, we had somebody who was pressing in the person of Magui. let's go back to last season Chelsea. Last season Chelsea, when Jackson is pressing, it takes some pressure off the Chelsea defense. Yeah. So when we had 3 right backs in the defense, Magui was pressing hard. Liverpool were confused. They were skying the box, the 5 years, was going to throw-ins, and we had less pressure on the Chelsea defense.
I think it was a risk. It was a risk.
Yeah, a very calculated one.
The thing is, it left Chelsea open.
Yes.
Just that Liverpool couldn't take advantage.
Exactly.
But I don't know if you want, if let me just come in here, but I would like to really big up Rich James.
Yeah.
Look, one attribute I like about footballers is people who can step up to the occasion on short notice.
Yeah.
I love that on the day circumstances changed, injuries happened, and he was called to step up, and he stepped up and put up a proper captain's performance. Caicedo might have won the award, but for me, he was the man of the match.
The leader on the day.
I mean, he showed everything. He showed everything I wanted in a captain on the day. And I was really, really happy for him. Even though I actually wanted Chelsea to win that game, but on the day I had my eyes on Reece James, and I was not disappointed.
Yeah. And
even as centre back, he still didn't change. Nothing about his performance as centre back showed that he wasn't accustomed to that role.
Exactly.
He slotted in nicely, and he puts in a very, very, very big shift for that last 30 minutes of this, or as it was 30 minutes that
30 minutes.
Yes, 35 minutes. Yeah. He put up a very, very, very big shift for Chelsea, and I was really, really happy. I was really, really impressed with his performance.
And before the game, Sky zoomed in his pep talk, and he was like, "We have to win this game.
Exactly.
We have to win this game." And for me, Maresca is showing me that he can beat all the champions. Maybe not Bayern Munich, but you see, to win this game with this back line, it's a big statement, a very big statement. Big out to Cucurella, who for me is becoming the best left back in the EPL. Low-key, becoming the best left back in the EPL, because the ball Cucurella will play. Cucu was like, tactically, they planned for Mo Salah
exactly
in the second half, where Maresca told them that Mo Salah does not defend, does not track back. He's waiting for counter-attacking balls in the second half. So let's use his channels to get our goal. And a well-calculated goal, and Estevao with the tapping, even the tapping with his weak foot. So for me, on the day, Maresca was the biggest winner.
Yeah.
Because some fans wanted to come at him that, okay, I mean, he's not doing the job well, and he should be sacked.
Honestly, the game was such that Chelsea didn't entirely dominate.
Yeah.
It was not like they made Liverpool poor or anything, but I felt had the game ended in a draw, Chelsea would have come out like really, really bitter about the result. They would have been bitter about the result, because everything about that game showed that Chelsea should have won.
Yeah.
And in the end, it was a well-deserved victory.
Yeah.
Let's break the game down. You said Maresca was the biggest winner.
Yeah, of course.
Now Chelsea went into this game with a very interesting tactic, right? You saw Malo Gusto predominantly playing in the midfield.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are wondering, okay, what is Maresca looking to do with this game? I mean, I sat down and watched the game a couple of times, right? And it was very interesting because he seemed to look to neutralize this Liverpool team. Yeah. So the likes of Gravenberch and McAllister in the middle of the park had a lot to think about, because they didn't know whether it was Gusto going to invert or Rich James going to invert.
Exactly.
It was a bit of a weird one. Yeah. I mean, wasn't he being too meticulous? I mean, should he not just stick to a style and keep it going?
Because let me break down the style he went in with for us. He was being extremely tactical, and this is where Slot was found wanting. Now, we did our build-up with only 2 men, a Champon and Badiashile. Why? Because for the first time in a long while, even though it was a weak defense, we had balance.
Yeah, and so, look, before you move on, Badiashile, he was brilliant.
He was fantastic.
So should Chelsea fans now trust their sports
I don't know why
directors?
Chelsea fans doubt him. Maybe because of when he had some bad spell, he was giving about 40 passes. But the talent is there. This guy at 20 was in the French national team. He has become injury prone. That's been the worry. So if you are listening to us, I want to break down how we're able to maneuver our way through the Liverpool midfield and also get into their half easily. Maresca is too good when it comes to practice.
Hey,
too good. No, they're too good. I've sat here and said that his Achilles heel is red cards.
And he managed to still get one anyway.
Yes. For himself, funny enough. So the build-up was only between a Champon and Badiashile. And now Cucurella will invert, and Gusto was a double 10 with Enzo Fernandez. If you're listening, get the system in your head. That time we'll use the board and everything for you guys. Trust me. The system was so simple. Badiashile, a Champon, only 2 men doing the build-up. Let's look at Caicedo's first goal. The pass came from Badiashile comfortably on his left foot. Imagine you were playing Fofana there or Chalobah there. He has to bend the body again and pass the ball to the right. So the natural left-footed player in this game alone was a win for us. Perfect balance. A champion is right-footed, but actually is left-footed. They had that balance. So when we are moving, James then moves into midfield. Cucurella moves into the left half spaces in attack. Then Gusto as a number 10 with Enzo Fernandez. So numerically, we were beating them in the midfield. And we also closed all the spaces they wanted to use when they win the ball. That was Maresca for you. Tactically knowing what to do. I keep saying, anytime you see Gusto in an advanced role and he has a good day, Chelsea is winning the game. I've said it here at Sporty before, that Gusto is the crown jewel of everything Maresca will do this season in big games. That's why I'm angry at Gusto when he gets a bad game as a Chelsea fan. So Badiashile tactically really helped. And the champion, he's mastering the ball carrier movement.
Yeah, because I saw him roll forward a couple of times.
So many times, and it's all worked.
Yeah.
So he's intelligent, and I love such players. Do you know that about me? Because you are playing a CCB role kind of. Because nobody was playing CCB role. So James did that in the second half when we took our system. So a champion on the ball, he was perfect on the ball carries. 10 over 10 because he didn't lose a single ball. And let's also big up Sanchez. It's like every big game, his long balls are perfect. He was giving very, very good balls to Garnacho and Neto, and it worked perfectly. So we crowded the Liverpool half with our boys, with Gusto, with Cucurella. They didn't know when to track Gusto. They didn't know when to track Cucurella. Because Cucurella was overlapping. Because we had only two defenders when we were on the ball. That's a champion and Badiashile. So Cucu will overlap and join Garnacho. We just come into midfield a bit. Then Gusto will become a number 10. Numerical advantage for Chelsea. Easy. And Cucurella was fantastic on the day. Everybody was blunt on the day. And for me, Caicedo, because I don't know how this guy scans. This is where, to me, he beats Rice a little bit. Anyway, I know we'll go there. Caicedo had been given the instructions to keep one eye open. Shout out to Blacko on a champion, because defensively we know maybe he's what he can make mistakes. So a player who has been given an instruction to keep one eye on a champion, and you've been moving the opponent's half with ease and shooting and scoring like that. He has 3 goals this season. 3 goals straight up. Some goals than some strikers in the EPL so far. Caicedo, and today I'm saying that if there's any player who's already in the PFA, it's him. Why? Because last year we thought that we were for bad that okay, he's not there. And he's nearing world class. If he can give us Champions League great games this season and next season, he's a world class player. So for me, big ups to Maresca. The transitions from the defense to midfield was superb. Enzo was fantastic. We didn't only see Joao Pedro because I think he's having issues maybe with injuries. Garnacho was decent. We'll count the stars if you allow us, but Neto too was tracking back to him. So everybody from Chelsea's point of view was fantastic.
So Elikem, I'll come to you and then I'll come back to Adjo. Okay. So if you look at the game statistics, Chelsea had 54% possession throughout the game to Liverpool's 46%. Right? Average Liverpool would have more possession this season, ideally. Pass accuracy, Chelsea had 83%, Liverpool had, I think, 80%. Chelsea had 6 shots on target. Liverpool managed 2, one of which resulted in a goal. 7 corners for Chelsea, 2 for Liverpool, etc. So statistically, it looked like Chelsea dominated the game. It looked like that.
Yeah.
Is it as a result of Liverpool's sudden poor form, or perhaps Slot doesn't know what to do with the machinery in his hands?
No, I wouldn't say he doesn't know what to do with the machinery now. He's still a good manager regardless. I mean, if we are talking about the Premier League managers who can affect in-game changes, I mean, he has to be one of the top, if not the best, one of the best. Like, so I wouldn't just conclude and say he doesn't know what to do with the machinery. You don't spend £500 million and not know what to do with them, and not know what to do with the players you've got. So I wouldn't go as far as say that. What I would say is they are going through a phase. Liverpool is going through a phase where they are no longer getting away with bad performances.
They got away with it at the beginning of the season.
You see,
the last minute goals.
With the Liverpool issue, I don't want it to look like I don't want to look like I'm complaining because they've started to lose. Because I've been saying this from the beginning of the season, that they've been putting up so many bad performances that they might not get away with it in some games. And for me, The Liverpool issue is simple. Their biggest strength over the last 8 years has been in wide areas. And this season, there's been a major downgrade in those areas. Look, one of Liverpool's biggest weapons in attacking and creating chances is their right-hand side. Because when Salah and Trent get going, it's going to be curtains. Look, when Salah and Trent get going, it's curtains for everyone. Because those guys will cause havoc. I always say, for a player like Trent Alexander-Arnold, as soon as he crosses the halfway line, he's dangerous. He can find any pass on the pitch. As soon as he crosses the halfway line, he can find anybody at all. And to lose that big weapon in your arsenal, in your attacking arsenal, it's going to always worry you. So at the beginning of the season, I wanted to see how well Frimpong will perform. Obviously, he's doing his best. He's doing it. I really do not think he's even performing as worse than what he was doing at Leverkusen. He's doing what he used to do.
But the thing is, Slot is having a few issues with playing Frimpong as a right back. In the last game, he played him as a right winger.
Yes, because you realize that what Frimpong gives you in attack doesn't compensate with what he gives you in defense. You see, for Trent, you could give him some leeway because what he gave you in attack was far, far more important than what he gave you in defense. So you cannot make that same sacrifice for Frimpong. But let's not forget, this is already a Slot who is giving Mo Salah a lot of freedom. Yeah. He's taking a lot of burden off him. So there's an issue in that right-hand side in that he's losing his two best players. He doesn't have a Trent Alexander-Arnold, and he doesn't have a Mo Salah who is at his best. So that's one major issue. You go onto the left side too. Milos Kerkez was brought in as an upgrade on Robertson. What's his first name?
Robertson.
Andrew Robertson. Yes, he was brought in as an upgrade on him. But let's ask ourselves: has he really been an upgrade? No. Because one thing I've noticed about his game is he keeps holding back. I don't know if his instructions has been given by a manager, but we don't see him bombing for it like he used to do at Bournemouth.
But this is Liverpool.
It's like he's a bit reserved, and there are many times in games where he's been caught shaking. Already 2 games. This is the second game. The Chelsea game is the second. The first game against Burnley, remember he got a yellow card, and then for like the next 15 minutes he was all over the place, and he could have got a red card on with a different referee.
And he was subbed off because of
that. And he was subbed off because of that. So if you remember very well, like I keep asking, has it really been going? Because from what you see, from what we've seen from the start of the season, it looks like he is going to start the season. He has started the season as the first choice left back. But then again, I see that they've been having to bring Robertson in to replace him and to cover up for him because he's not been as good as they expected him to be. So that's my issue. So the issue with Slot is the wide areas. Now, on the left wing, where Gakpo is playing, I kept saying this last season that one of the biggest reasons Liverpool won the league was they could rotate a lot of players in that right wing because none of them were consistent throughout the season. On the opposite side, which is the right wing, Salah did it for them. Salah was ever present. He was giving them the numbers. He was giving them the top performances. He was killing games for them. But on the left wing, you realize every player who played there had a spell. Remember, Gakpo had his time. Luis Diaz had a period where he was on form. Even it got to a point. I think Nunes was having shifts on the left wing. On the left wing. Now, Diaz has been sold.
And they could bring in Harvey Elliott sometimes.
Exactly. Diaz has been sold. Harvey Elliott not to catch you, but Harvey Elliott was even playing more on Salah's side or even in central areas, not on that side. But you see, now you've sold Luis Diaz. You've sold this other guy, Darwin Núñez. Yeah. Diego Jota, who could also play there, is no more. So you are losing 3 players who could rotate. Because you realize most attempts in games, one substitution used to do was either Diaz for Gakpo or Gakpo for Diaz. And that covers you. So when the player is having a bad game, then you bring him on. Then the next one. So it's like from August to this one, Diaz will have a good period. And you see, and I like that because you do not notice when a player goes bad. You do not notice when a player loses form because there are people there to cover up for him. There are people there to come in for him. But now there's only Gakpo. There's really only Gakpo because we can talk about Rio Ngumua. We can talk about the other guys. Maybe Ekitike will be used there in the future.
I think eventually that's what they are looking to do with Ekitike and Issa.
You understand? Maybe that will, but as of now, the only one suited for that role is Gakpo, and that's an issue. So, in all this, I think with Liverpool, from all the transfers they are doing, one thing I noticed is they are preparing for life without Mo Salah, and I'm thinking maybe eventually they are going to move away from the over-reliance on their wide areas and move to a more central approach. Okay. Maybe reason for the signing of Florian Wirtz, the signing of players like Isak and Ekitike, who are more accustomed to playing in central areas. So maybe that's what the plan is. But I kept saying in the summer that they should have gotten another winger. And from an Arsenal point of view, I was very scared when they were going for Rodrigo because they needed someone out wide. Imagine they had brought in Rodrigo for Gakpo in like the 30th minute, with 30 minutes to go on Saturday. It would have been a different issue for Chelsea altogether. So you see, that's just my issue with Slot. But then again, look, it's early days. They've gone through this phase. They face United next. Let's see how they bounce back. But on the other hand too, I just think this team is too stacked for him to get it wrong. It's too stacked for him to get it wrong. And I feel eventually he's going to figure it all out and they'll put together a good run. So
Elikem thinks that Charlie is just a little blip in the way, a little bump, and the slot machine will be back roaring again. Now back to the King Ajo. The King Ajo loves his Chelsea. So
I thought we'll talk about Liverpool. Touch on Liverpool.
Okay, so you want to touch on Liverpool?
Just two bombs. You see, I don't know if football fans, neutral fans, are scared of McAllister. And we often know we are not fair to Enzo Fernandez. You see, again, why he laughing? McAllister picks his games. We wait for him to get into rhythm, and when he's playing well, we come and hype him. Enzo doesn't get that. Rice doesn't get that. Valverde is struggling with that. I don't know the kind of PR this guy has, or because he has a nice face, people are shy to say it. He is not playing well. He is not helping Liverpool. Even Jones will do a job than him now. So he gets into his rhythm and start playing well for them. Centrally, he's not helping them at all. They left all the way for Gravenberch. And for the first time, I saw Van Dijk complaining and shouting. Maybe your mind won't go there. He was angry because Liverpool left spaces, too much spaces. Look at the Enzo, look at the Caicedo shot. He had to lock where his leg again and shoot to get the angle right. And there's nobody close to him. Yes, Maresca's tactics beat them in the middle, but at least you have to close the gap in the middle. And that's where coaching comes in. We'll get there to him a Slot. But for the middle, McAllister, Liverpool fans call him out if he's not playing well. He's not playing well. Liverpool fans will join Real fans to go and maybe an Enzo or a Valverde, someone, a Casemiro or a Bruno, and leave McAllister out. Last year we saw him in PFA. We saw him in big nominations because he had a good end to the season. Start the season well, my brother. Start playing well. You were bought for 30 million. It's not bad for Brighton. He has to help Liverpool because he's not a bad player. So he has to start playing well. Then next thing too, you see, we ask Liverpool fans, Slot, are you come to change something that you don't have to change? It's like you have something nice there, you won't just change it or tangle with it. No. You came in with a counter-attacking system. You sat down with the board to do recruitment, and you went in for full-flying fullbacks. And you see, they make our analysis so easy on Sporty because we can't order that. We were asking and begging the question, what would be the plan for these attacking-minded fullbacks? Frimpong and Bradley. Someone called and told us that, I've forgotten. Kekes is good, he has a balance. Frimpong is a good player. They will do it. We
all know defensively they are not your...
Exactly. And you play a Van Dijk who doesn't run. A Konate who had contractual issues. So the fullbacks are exposing Slots. They don't overlap. There's no balance with Kekes, and they're not helping Salah. Anybody that plays right back complements Salah. Bradley could not do that because Bradley is defensively minded. So Bradley was struggling. Estevão was lost in the game, was just walking around. Only Gakpo was trying for Liverpool, and so was like. So the Slot has to go back to the drawing board and know that either I have to tweak my tactics or go to being a counter-attacking team and make Bradley. Okay, let me give Slot apport. Slot, you and Liverpool, you are United. Start playing a three-back and use Kerkez to his best of abilities. Kerkez can do the Balde role for Slot. So when they are building up, it becomes a three-back system. You have Bradley as the right centre-back, Van Dijk central, or Van Dijk as the left centre-back, and Konate in the middle. Van Dijk won't run. So you let Gravenberch have one eye defensively on what? On Van Dijk.
Even if he plays a 3-back and he plays Frimpong as a right wing back, that's
easy.
Fantastic. Yeah.
And that will get the best out of Kerkez. Kerkez wants to go high and not have thinking of coming back with problem. You have Gravenberch have one eye on the left channels for you. So that will help Bradley.
But what would that mean for a player like Salah? Wouldn't it mean you have to shift him central?
No, it means Szoboszlai will be linking up with him on the right. It's easy because the way they want to go, if you overlap your fullbacks, Konate and Van Dijk will always be found wanting. They will expose them. Unless maybe Frimpong gets a good form. Or Kerkez has picked form. That's what we say Slot. Because I'm not seeing him coach this team like this. Not like the team is not being coached well by Slot. So they have issues. And Arsenal might be happy with this. Easy.
Elikem is smiling, but who knows? But Elikem still believes he'll pick
back to Chelsea.
Yeah. So I mean, that was a Jaw's take on Liverpool and just how abysmal the coaching from the slot machine has been. He was on the slaughter board this weekend as Chelsea found a way past him at Stamford Bridge. Last season they did as well, and they have again. Yeah. So we spoke about that lineup. That had Robert Sanchez, Reece James, Achampong, Badiashile, Cucurella, Malo Gusto, Caicedo, Pedro Neto, Enzo Fernandez, Garnacho, and Joao Pedro. But Chelsea finished that game with no centre-back on the pitch.
Yes, crazy. To add to the beauty of the wing.
So I'll keep saying, does that justify what your sporting directors have been saying, that there are internal solutions to your centre-back problem?
That is why they have to listen to Maresca. If the coach can do three right backs playing defense. And because I was saying something that what helped us, let me share this with Chelsea fans and football fans. Tactically, Maresca is a smart guy. He loves the game because when he realized that, okay, now I'm playing with James as a central centre back, which is tricky and dangerous, very complex, he brought in McGahey. So I felt the Chelsea of last season where, okay, we have Kowa, the CCB, and we have Jackson pressing high. And we'll push Caicedo to go and counter press. So when McGahey came, he was really pressing. And when Chelsea presses, it brings some comfort on our back line. So Rejames became comfortable. So we were forcing them to go long. And when they go long, all touches of Rejames were perfect. Then we start our build-up again. So big ups to Maresca for that tactical change. McGahey coming in was very important. And he was very important in the goal we scored. He drew Van Dijk close to him for the cutback to happen. So that you have your mind on Estevão and the tapping happens. So Maresca won Chelsea in the game from all angles. Because Rejames has been making mistakes in the past 3 games. And to see Rejames in CCB, I was scared in this same seat. Hey, what is going to happen?
But then he still had...
Even the goal that they scored, Rejames was there. There was an error with Rejames. He couldn't mark the player well. So I was scared. But, I mean, Maresca did it for us.
But he had Romeo Lavia on the pitch as well.
Yeah, and he was
just how important is Romeo Lavia to this Chelsea team?
Just stay fit. You're a young man, just stay fit. I don't know if he's fit. I mean, he's always fit against for Liverpool games. That's all. So I'm scared again. Lavia, you can help. I even have this assertion that you can even have one eye on the CCB rule just for our build-up. When you build up, you move into your midfield position. Lavia is a fantastic player. I want him to just stay fit. That is all. If he stays fit, he can be dangerous for his own self because he's a fine deep line playmaker. Fine player. He doesn't lose the ball. He has eye for passes. He can maneuver his way through, tight spaces. He's a good player, but the injuries, they're too much. They're too much.
So he has to stay fit, says Bajara Hato and Jamie Bino Gittins. Gittins has been criticised very widely by Chelsea fans. But Maresca seems to still have a lot of trust in him. Were you impressed?
Yeah, he gave us a good cameo. Not bad, but he can do more. I like when he bent the shoulder and cut in. I felt like the shot, he just took the shot just like that. But next time, he should just find the far post and get a goal. But maybe small it will come. Hato is looking confident now. Much more than Gittins for now. For Garnacho, he has picked the right form and he played quite well. Garnacho even had the penalty that was overlooked. But for me, I feel like Gittins, let's give him time. If Florian Wirtz is not seeing top, Gittins too, we can buy that excuse for him.
Florian Wirtz, let me come to early game on Florian Wirtz. I want us to crack this nut open.
The profiles, yeah.
He came on at halftime in this particular game. He came to play in that number 10 role because Bradley was withdrawn and Szoboszlai went to play as a right back. He's proven to be a very effective utility player for Liverpool. But Florian Wirtz came on. He had one deft touch. It was a very, very good touch. I think it was one that went into Salah and then he couldn't finish it or something like that. But he's found it very difficult to adapt to the English Premier League. Do you think he ever will? What will it take? Will it take a change of a position? What would it take for Florian Wirtz to rev to life in the English Premier League?
I think eventually he will. Eventually he will, certainly, because he's a very good player. The talent is there's no doubt about it.
But he's looked lost ever since he's been at Liverpool.
Yeah, but there's no doubt about the talent. And for me, I believe in talent, and I believe no matter what, your talent will always prevail in the end. But my problem with the whole Wirtz situation is this. It just looks like he's a good player in the wrong system at the moment. Because players like Florian Wirtz, a player like, let's say, Pedri of Barcelona, and other players, I'm not saying they are the same player or they are the same profile, but I'm saying there are certain players who like to spend so much time on the ball and who are used to systems where they pin teams behind. They are used to systems where they pin teams behind and are always... So, you see, when you are facing a low block every time, you have so much time on the ball, you have time to maneuver situations, you have time to thread the needle and do all that stuff. That is what he's used to. He's used to playing against low block defense. He's used to playing in teams where he has to hold the ball for so much of the time. But with Liverpool, I feel like in the Liverpool attack, things happen quickly.
Transitions, yeah.
Things happen quickly in the Liverpool attack. The Liverpool, especially in the midfield areas, they are always looking to release the wide players. So he coming into a system where he has to do things quick, a bit more quickly than he is used to, might have been the issue. But then again, I think with all good players, he's going to adapt. He knew the situation he was walking into. So I'm feeling, like I said, this whole Liverpool recruitment tells me they might be wanting to go into the next a different direction after Mo Salah. And I think if that happens, he might be the biggest benefactor of it. Yeah. In that they might be playing well to his strength, because players like Florian Wirtz, you don't sign a player for 100 million and not play to his strength. Yeah. That's the truth. And I feel with time he's going to be the main jewel of this system, the main focal point of the attack, and he is going to be the one to control the game more for them. But for now, I do not think he is given that role. I do not think they look out for him when they are going to attack. I do think it's still very much a Mo Salah team. It's still very much a wide team, and they are really looking at the wide areas. They are still looking at the wide areas. The transition is going to take some time. It might be rough, but eventually, I do believe, like I said, a very, very good player, a talented player. There's no way you can watch that player and tell me he's not talented. See, footballers, even with their first touch, you will know they are talented.
Yeah.
There's a story. I don't know if it's confirmed by reliable. It hasn't been confirmed by top reliable sources, but there's a saying that when Bielsa was going to scout Mauricio Pochettino, he just saw his feet and picked him in the team. He just saw his feet. He just saw his feet, yes.
Oh, okay.
When he was going to scout Mauricio Pochettino, he just saw his feet.
But that one there is good. That's what. Look, I see your eyes and just see.
Yes, you understand. So there's no way anyone can watch Florian Wirtz and tell me he's not a good footballer. Things are just not working out for him.
But look, imagine Liverpool lining up like this, right, in a 3-back with maybe Van Dijk, Konate, and maybe the lad who's injured, Leon. Yeah, or perhaps Bradley or Leone or Bradley in the back.
I think Kekes could play as the left centre back.
Kekes for his left wing back, maybe Robertson as the left centre back. Maybe
that could.
They are all defensively not good.
Yeah, so imagine Kekes on the left wing back and Frimpong on the right wing back. Then in the middle of the park, you've got Gravenberch and maybe Szoboszlai in the center of midfield.
Yeah.
Then you've got Fioren, Wirtz, and maybe like a Ketike. And
Mo Salah.
And no, I mean, okay, I'm saying Liverpool without Mo Salah. You've got a Fioren, Wirtz, you've got an Ketike, and then you've got what's his name, Isak up front.
Yeah. So is it a 4? Is it a 3-4-1-2?
Yeah, 3-4-2-1. Probably.
I think it's a 3-4-1-2 you're speaking about.
Yeah.
Florian Wirtz behind Isak and Ekitike.
No, Fioren, Wirtz and Ketike behind Isak. Yeah.
Well, that might work. But you see, we cannot sit here and do and write things down on paper and write things down on paper. But at the end of the day, when you step on the pitch, it's a different ball game altogether. So I feel for now, I would like to think it's a temporary thing, because see, for me, I'll be very honest to say, I just watched him sparingly before he joined Liverpool. But I've taken time to watch the player, and there's no doubt about it. The guy is a very, very good footballer. I would want him at Arsenal, actually.
He'll fit your system.
But the problem is, he's just finding it too hard to adapt to the pace of what Liverpool are doing. That's my major thing. He's having to do things a bit quicker than he's used to. And it's a big problem. So, if you ask me what is wrong with him, I do think there's not so much wrong with him, and he will come good eventually.
Absolutely, he will come good eventually. Says Eli Kemavotri, he said, listen, have patience for Toyota Wirtz. Toyota Wirtz will come good eventually.
Oh, but in the meantime, we enjoy it. We enjoy the banter and all that.
It's not fun. Now let's talk about Chelsea's match winner. Estevão Willian.
Oh, the aesthetic Estevão.
18 years old. But a lot of people are waxing lyrical about him already. Too early?
No, start. Let's start. Just if you call today, just say Esther. If you don't say Esther, we'll cut you, we'll hang you.
Anyway, but what did you make of his entrance into the game? He has some pretty good moments.
Aside the goal, his 30 minutes or 20 minutes coming was brilliant. I mean, his touches, his take-ons. I mean, he winning balls with his low sense of gravity.
And he's tracking back.
Yeah, tracking back, getting the balls. He had a shot on target, was saved by Maresca. Crazy, finding the far corner. So he had a good kick.
And that ball to Enzo Fernandez, he really struck, buried. He put it on a plate for him.
Yeah, so just took the goal out, and he was balling. And this guy is blessed. I mean, that's why I say he will win a lot of Ballon d'Ors. Yeah, he win like 2 or 3 Ballon d'Ors. And that's not me bragging. That's what I've seen. If you believe in a George football eye, he will win the Ballon d'Or. It's there. It's written with him. Just if you see him, you have to see. The guy has natural PR. He's a likable character. Off the field, this was his son. I don't think he will change.
The only thing you hear of me when he's playing drums in church.
Yeah, and dancing and singing.
He plays drums.
Next time I'm drumming, others too are drumming different things.
Yeah, he was drumming in church and he was
we will drum for Christ. Others are holding big things. We will hold the Bible. So I mean, we can win the Ballon d'Or with ease. So just say Esther. That's the brand name for him. Aesthetic Esther. The Estevão, the external aesthetics of Estevão. Esther. ESTA. If you call in a Chelsea fan, just shout Esther before you talk. He's a brilliant chap. Scored his first goal for Brazil, his first EPO. And you see, he will be scoring in big games. Oh, Emirates. I like him say Emirates cut him. Then he just plays it. Then Raya will be saving. Raya will be struggling to save the ball. This guy will be brilliant. And you see, he won't. I don't see him being a Chelsea legend. At the point in time, the Brazilians always get confused. They move to Madrid, they move to Barca, and this guy will play for Barca or Madrid, obviously. So, Chelsea fans, enjoy him.
But the guy has a 9-year contract.
Yeah, I mean, we'll cash in on him. He can even become the most expensive signing in world football. When it comes to some bragging and stuff.
But if you have a player who's 18 and shows so much promise, doesn't it show directionless ambition from your...
Come again.
Why are you looking to sell a player? Why won't you look to have him...
No, sometimes these Brazilians want to overdo. I won't fall
so don't you believe that your team will achieve enough for him to...
Oh, he can achieve until Chelsea and move to a different league. But he's a Barcelona fan, if people don't know. Barcelona didn't only get him because of financial issues. Imagine he had already had players. Chelsea gave him a good structure, and we had to overdo to get him. We showed him a very good project.
So why don't you want to look forward to him being a Chelsea legend like maybe...
No, I know these Brazilians, when they come in... Willian, is he a Chelsea legend?
Yeah, Willian is a Chelsea legend.
Yeah. In context. These Brazilians, when they come in, they are too good. They want to emulate Neymar and co. So I won't be surprised if he goes to Spain after 10 years with Chelsea, or let's say 8 years with Chelsea. He's still 18. Oh, I mean, he can spend like 8 years at Chelsea and move to Madrid or Barcelona, and we'll still support him because what this boy did in Brazil, breaking and equaling all Neymar records. If you love Neymar, you have to love Estevão. If you love Neymar, you overlove Estevão. And Maresca is trying to let us know that he's managing his game time for now. I feel bad for Neto. That's Neto's his position is under. It's like he's in trouble there. This guy will take over from Neto easily. But this coach has a plan for Neto too. And he's signals something to the coach. Coach, defensively, I can do what you want me to do. So start playing me.
Because against Liverpool, he was very good defensively.
Yes! Very good. Winning balls. Like Kante will do with his rips. And living. So what else does he need to start getting? But he's a kid. A young wonder kid. And I like how you see, even after the goal, Haaland posted him. Wonder kid. So the guy is blessed with natural PR. And for me, I'm the head of the PR in Ghana. So we've started doing it for him. And to me, he win the Ballon d'Or. I did it for Enzo. Enzo's contract.
Enzo has also won the Ballon d'Or.
No, Enzo has won the Club World Cup, and that's what he has to do with that. So, but this guy, I mean, easy.